able to get on valves so we can start isolating stuff. A lot of times you see water running for, days or hours, right, because you can't get it under control. I'm happy that those investments that we're doing allowed us to get it under control.
From this location, the water is already
starting to recede. And we're shooting up about 8 feet. Now it's probably about a foot.
Car, and what exactly happened?
Yeah, she got out of the car once it started to sink a little bit, and then after she got out, eventually the hole just swallowed the car. That's it.
And she was there the entire time as well?
We can't let you see that because there's nothing to see. I mean, what's there to see? All it is there's a tire there, that's all. All right?
Just get it back to the hospitals. That this bill's already.
The Department of Health will have to get involved with the hospitals.
So yes, again, the county OEM, the state OEM, the Newark OEM, right? They're bringing in water tankers for fire suppression. For all those entities, we're well aware of their water needs, and we'll address them.
Are you getting to about that car going through? You described it to us earlier.
Yeah, not much more than I could add. I think you covered it all. But the car is still there. Apparently, the woman drove through this morning. There were other cars driving through. There was a little bit of water. They all went through. When she was in line, when he got to her turn, the car sunk in a little bit. She managed to get out, ran out, and then eventually the car basically is engulfed. All you see now is a tire from an SUV on the side of it. That's it. We have a big truck here to remove it once the water stops, because right now we can't put the truck in here because we don't know if the truck is going to sink, so we have to wait until the water recedes. Other than that, there's not much else. There's the pressure, like you said, is impacting the hospital. That's the concern that we have. The state OEM is here, the state police is here. We have to concern ourselves. Hopefully we won't have to evacuate hospitals. Right now the pressure at Claremont is almost down to zero. St. Michael's is going down. University is starting to go down a little bit. Courthouse is down, so it's impacting buildings, including Beth Israel. So we're concerned about that. So hopefully we won't have to evacuate folks.
When will you have to make that decision, Sheriff, about evacuation if possible?
Well, that has to be made between the city of Newark and the rest of us and the state OEM. The Department of Health will have to make that decision. That's a health department concern. Okay?
Newark, do you think it's affecting Belleville as well?
It's affecting other towns like Belleville and Bloomfield. With water discoloration.
Is that part of the 100,000, or is that just 100,000?
No, I wouldn't know how many is affected in that system. We seldom boat water, but some of those systems have interconnections with other municipalities that can backfeed them.
Is there a location where residents can pick up the water bottles?
That I'm not sure.
An outreach team.
An outreach team is going out to deliver. It's hot. We don't want residents waiting in line in 100-degree weather, right, to pick up water. We'll deliver the water to them.
2 more questions,
Are we
guys.
talking hours or are we talking days?
Hours.
Hours to get this situation fixed.
Right now, no, our contractor is on site. As soon as we assess the pipe, we're looking to give you another update of where we at, what the status is, and how long it takes us to make the repair. As we isolate the pipe, we're hoping to recharge the system, right? The water will be built back up in other areas. The city of Newark has a looping system, so this area is a feeder main. We need to isolate it so the other areas in the city can build pressure back up and water.
We were told 5 to 6 hours. Is that still on track?
I'm not aware who told you that, right? You're hearing it from me. I didn't say it, so I don't know.
Last question.
I'm sorry if you addressed this already, but do we know was age a factor? What do you think triggered the break?
We're not sure yet. Once we expose the break and dig it out, we'll update you with further information. But age is always a factor when you see older infrastructure.
What happens if there's a fire?
There's still water in the system. So the Office of Emergency Management from the state, the county, and the city, you see the sheriff here, they're already aware of that. And it's not that the whole city don't have water. It's parts of the city that I said it.
Thank you, guys. We're Utilities Director Kareem Adeem here to give an update on the water main break. Kareem, let them know where.
Good morning. My name is Kareem Adeem, K-A-R-E-E-M, A-D-E-E-M. I'm the Director of the Department of Water and Sewer Utilities here at the City of Newark. Early, about 6 o'clock this morning, we started getting calls of residents not having water. Our teams were out looking to locate a water main break. We didn't see one. The City of Belleville called us, let us know that there was water coming up in the park. We responded to this area in the park, and we noticed that it's one of the large city's transmission mains. This main is about 42 inches in diameter. It's installed in 1880, right? We've isolated it. We got about 1 or 2 more valves that we need to do to get the water under control. The city, the mayor's office and his advanced team has been out distributing bottled water to some of the most sensitive populations. If you're looking for bottled water, you can call 973-733-4311. 973-733-4311. The county OEM team, the county Office of Emergency Management, and the city's Office of Emergency Management are coordinating efforts to make sure we get the water restored as quick as possible. Our contractor is on site. As soon as we get the water down, we'll do an update a little later on on where we're at, the status of the pipe, and how long the repair may take. We're doing a bottle, because we've lost pressure, it's a bottled water advisory in the city of Newark.
Director, can you talk about how the fact that it's so hot, how this makes it a more serious situation for the residents of Newark?
Yes, it makes it, the heat plays a major factor, and we all need water to stay cool. We advise the residents, the cooling centers are still open. Again, we're giving out bottled water. And a sense of urgency on the water department has always been a sense of urgency from the day when as soon as we got the call to make sure we store water as quickly as possible to all of our residents.
About how many homes are affected?
It's about right now there's a little over 100,000 people in the city of Newark that's affected. I don't know the home amount, but it's a population about a little over 100,000.
Is there a region in Newark that's more affected?
This pipe feeds the Pequannock system, so the Pequannock system is affected. That feeds off of pipe number 5.
And what's that mean? Like the north?
That's the entire West Ward, the north, south, and central.
Also all of it.
Yes.
So it's just a matter of pressure. They absolutely have no water. And are you
Some
concerned
areas
about
no.
the quality of the water?
Some areas have no water. That's why some areas have no water, and some areas have low pressure. That's why we issue the ball water advisory, right? Until as pressure starts, as we isolate the valve, pressure start building back up. But you need to ball the water until we finish doing our regular testing.
That hose sounds on that pipe is ancient as far as you ever had a problem with it before? Did you know that it was on the verge of deteriorating? Did you have
No. This is the first, under my tutelage and leadership, this is the first time we had a break on this size pipe. On that pipe, that particular pipe.
Karla, there's a car in there. Did that make the situation worse?
No, the car didn't make the situation worse. The car actually helped us pinpoint where the leak was at.
So this
The resident that was in the car, she was actually able to exit the car right when the water leak came. The car just sunk later on as it started washing away the road.
Thank you.
The pipe is 142 years old.
It's built in the 1880s.
Can you put that in perspective? Is that unusual to have a pipe in the system that's 142 years old?
No, like most major cities, right? Newark is the third oldest major city in the country, right? The infrastructure is old. You see the Biden and Harris infrastructure bill, that's what we're trying to do, right? Use that money to restore aging infrastructure. So in major cities, you'll see like New York City, similar to Newark, you'll see pipes of that size on the East Coast. The whole East Coast grid, right, is an old system, an old infrastructure system.
Again, can you tell the residents when can they expect to have full water to?
We'll follow up with the residents we'll update the residents as we get more information. We'll come back.
And usually, though, even though you fix it, it might take a couple of hours, maybe 24, 48 hours before you get
Before we lift the ball water notice. We're working with this NJDP, the Department of Environmental Protection, as we report the results of what we're seeing in the water, and it's all clear, we'll release the ball water notice. And this is a ball water notice because we lost pressure in the system below 20 PSI. So we need to make sure that no contaminants can get into the system until we do our testing as we recharge the system.
Is it